Hey guys, it is Alan, and we are back in the shop at Front Page Fab after a seems like a forever hiatus. Just helping my daughter move and a little vacation, and then memorial service for loss of a family member. But all that's past us now, and we're finally getting back in so we can get this power steering pump in the Ranger finally. So buckle up and get you a cold one, and let's get this done. And you guys can help me, okay? So you got to remember which way the lines go, okay? So see them lines right there? We got to remember which way they go, because I'm going to take them off, take those old ones off and put new lines on it at the same time. Because I'm like, hey, you're there, you've already got the pump off. Why would you not go ahead and replace those lines, especially when those, look at that down there. Can you see that? Just look at how nasty that looks down there. And I cleaned that up when we did put the V8 in it the first time. That was spick and span. So that means them hoses are leaking or weeping or something. And or maybe it's the O-ring on the fittings. I don't know, but we got to get that crap replaced. So remember how those were. You saw it. I just showed it to you. Remember that, because we got to replace them. I got new ones right here. See, new ones are here. Pressure line and return line, they're here. You remember how the old ones were, so that when I go to put the new ones in, I get it put in right, okay? All right. So first thing we got to do is we got to pull the pulley off of the old pump, take my custom engineered bracket and transfer it over to the new pump, put the pulley back on the new pump, and then we'll get on those lines. This way I can at least get the old pump off and or out of here, because it's making a mess on my bench, and I don't like a messy bench. Even though if you look at it right now, you'd like, dude, you got a freaking messy bench. I mean, seriously, I'm embarrassed to show my bench right now. Look at this. I got parts everywhere. I got to get these projects done. I got to get this done. I got brakes and rotors for the Mrs. Front Page Fab's Grand Cherokee. That's got to get changed. And then when we get all that done, then I got to move over and we're going to build a dethatcher. That'll be a next future video coming up here pretty soon. We're going to build a dethatcher now. So that's something you can comment on and give me your thoughts on, okay? So when I build this dethatcher, I've got a John Deere 2305, so it's what, 24 horsepower, 25 horsepower, whatever it is. Sorry, you're a little crooked at the moment. Let's see if we can straighten you up, because I'm already straight. So I'm debating. I've got enough steel. I can make a 6-foot wide dethatcher, or a 5 or a 4, whatever. I'm not going to go a 4 because it won't quite cover the tires on the tractor. I'm kind of thinking about a 6-foot dethatcher, honestly. I could cut it down if it was too big, but I don't think it'll be too big on that tractor. I'll have to measure the back of the tractor and see. 5 foot for sure, maybe a 6. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. So the springs we're going to use on that bad boy to make that dethatcher are come from Winamac Coil Spring, and here they are. Okay. So that's what we're going to put on them. I got a whole box full of them in there. Look at all that. So that's going to be what we're going to use for a dethatcher. I also recently, there was a hardware store auction and I got a crap ton of bolts. Anywhere from 632 by half all the way up to 3, 8, 16, all the way up to 1/2 inch 13. And these are all thread. So I might be selling some of those. So if anybody's interested in some or has a need for a project, let me know in the comments. And we might be able to work something out. So anyway, let's get to it. Enough talking. All right, so what we're going to do here is we are going to pull this pulley off. Now, what I'm going to use to pull this is I've got a pulley puller and installer kit, and this kit comes with everything you see here, including what you don't see is a set of jaws, and then you have a sleeve assembly that goes over the jaws. So basically, and the jaws, there's a large diameter and a small diameter. So for this, we need the small diameter. So we'll put that on there. Oops, and the other thing I got is this, and this has to go in. So basically what's happening is I put the other thing I forgot to mention. I've already put, there is a little nub that goes on here as part of it. It's called a button. It's this right here. It goes in here. What it's going to do is it's going to sit right there on the end of that shaft. It would save the threads if you needed to put it back on this pulley or this this pump for some reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this and do that, and then we're going to do this. Okay, so I've got it on. Then we take that collar, and that collar just slides over. Now what I do is, all right, so now we are pretty well tight. Okay, so now I have it tied against there. So now what I have to do is, see what size that is. Okay, that's 1/2 inch. And just so you know, that is a 6-point head on there, and this is a 6-point socket. I'm doing that instead of a 12-point because you have a higher probability of rounding your shaft there if you use a 12-point, and we don't want to do that. So we've got that done. Now I just got to figure out what size that is. Well, it's not an inch. Let's try 7/8. Close. Closing in. Let's go to a 13/16. There we go. That fits nice. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to use my Milwaukee impact. And so what we want to do is we're going to drive, basically the way we're going to turn this is we're going to drive the threads down, and as it drives the thread down, it's going to pull this with that spacer. So I think that's the way it's going to work. So let's give it a go. Yep, got that in the right direction. So let's see what happens. See if I'm right or if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, it wouldn't be the first time. Okay, there we go, just like that. We are off. Old pulley is off. Ready, so now I'm going to pull this collar off. Pulls that back out. Now to put this on, we will have to do something a little different, and I will show you that here in a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these 3 screws off. Slipping in my old age. Man, I'm really slipping in my old age. I used to be able to, you know, get. Did you guys know that was an 11/16? Seriously, come on. If you did, why didn't you tell me? Come on, guys, you're slacking on me. Can't have no slackers. All right. So now what I need to do is I got to get that off. Take these 3 bolts off, and that then will let me loosen this bracket up. But before we do that, as you can see, it's a little dirty there, and I don't want to get my delicate hands dirty. So I'm gonna glove up. See? Now, I know you guys are gonna blow me crap because I gloved up. You know, my girly hands. But listen, I never used to like wearing gloves, and I still won't say I like wearing gloves. But if you don't need very much tactile feel, these give you a little bit, not a huge amount though. Like if I've got an 832 or a number 8 washer laying on the concrete, I can't pick it up with these. I'd have to take my gloves off. But for something like this, well, you just can't beat it, because you know, whenever it's time to clean up and go up to the house, I don't have to scrub very much at all if I've got my gloves on. All right. So, and man, I used to I had air tools for everything, and now I've got a nice 2-stage Ingersoll air compressor that I hardly use anymore. Other than this. Well, I used it today just to pump tires up on the tractor. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of clean this bracket up. See if I can get some of this oil off of it. And yeah, you can see that oil right there is definitely had a leak. Okay, so we're on that way. So now I can get rid of this oily bucket. One more thing off my workbench. Woohoo! And we'll get the new pump. Oh, isn't that a pretty thing? Look at that. Look how pretty that is. She's pretty. She's pretty. Looks different though. I better get that old one and compare these real quick, because that just looks different. Okay, basically the reservoir looks a little smaller to me. Otherwise it looks the same. Okay, what does this say? Proja, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, always flush the lines. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, oh, look at that. Just like it's made to be there. What do you think of that, guys? Okay. So take care of that. Now Now we get to install the pulley, and what we're going to do is we're going to do what we just did a minute ago in reverse. Now, I am going to put just a dab of oil on that. Just because I don't want it to, I don't want to seize or nothing, I'm not vicious about it. So I'm just going to do that. Put a dab of oil here. And put a little bit there. Okay. All right, so we got a dab of oil on there. Just a dab. Now we're going to set this pulley somewhere like so. And before we do that, now we have to what do we have to do here? Is it the right one? Or is it the left one? So I thought, yeah, that feels better. That feels a lot better. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we have that. Roughly there is centered. Now, according to the instructions, it wants me to put a little Earl on here as well. Okay, just like so. Now we're going to put our thrust washer down, just like so. And then we're going to put a bearing like so. Okay. Now I'm going to oil that. Let's see, I think I got a squirt can. Yeah, I'll do a little squirty. All right, we squirted it. Now we put the big nut on. Okay, now comes the fun part, you see. So what we're going to do now, and I'm going to move this because I'll hit it. So now we take this, okay, and then we need that was a 1/2 inch. We need a 1/2 inch wrench and a 1/2 inch wrench. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold this and this is basically just going to press that pulley right on there, just as pretty as you please. And you can see it has started. You know, if I was smart, If I was smart, nobody's ever accused me of being smart. This way. Yep, she's going on. No doubt about it.
A lot of these pop-up carburetor companies that I see on Facebook and social media, they don't take it's not always just built for carburetors.
All right, guys. So what I ended up doing, I tried putting one of my line wrenches on there and cracking those loose, but they were pretty rusted. So I didn't want to take a chance of rounding the heads off. Well, just to give you an example, the new nuts are 11/16 and a 5/8 socket fit those. A 16 millimeter fits them better, but I don't have a deep well 16 millimeter. So what I did was I just went ahead and cut the lines because I'm not saving them anyway. So now I already loosened them. As you can see, I just had those in there. So they're ready to come out, and then we're ready to put the new lines in place, and then I'll tighten them down with the line wrenches at that point. So, all right, so that's what we're getting ready to do. First nut off, and I'm getting ready to do the second one. You can see those are in pretty gnarly shape, so it was good to replace them. I mean, they were still solid there through the cut, but it was definitely good to go ahead and replace them. I mean, after all, they're 94 to 28 years old. So I'd say we got the money's worth out of them. So now I hope you guys remembered which way these hoses go. Otherwise, we may be in trouble. Yeah, you can see that pretty rusted stuff. So definitely good to replace them. Get the crap out of there. All right. See how that works. Still not. I need it. All right. I'm going to put you guys on pause. I got to figure this out. All right, guys. We got the lines in there. Wasn't too difficult of a job, so they should be good to go. If as long as I got the this is the return line, low pressure side. I just need to check the pictures I took and make sure I have this in the right position. One of the downsides of buying aftermarket lines is the bends are close but not exact. So what I ended up doing was tweaking this. I kind of had to bend it this way. A little more than I would have liked, but I don't think we have any cracks. That is one good thing about fresh lines, is they're a little more flexible and willing. You can bend them a little bit more than you can with old rusty lines. Alright guys, we finally got this thing buttoned up. Fired it up at first and there was a little bit of whine, but it was just getting power steering fluid through the system. So we got all that done, got the belt on and in the proper teeth. So everything is good to go. I'm going to take it out for a little run and come back and top the fluids off, and this project's done. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Sure helps me out, and also give me some comments, feedback, what you'd like to see next. We are going to do that landscape, or not landscape rake, dethatching rake. So that'll be coming up soon. As soon as I get those brakes over there done, installed on brakes and rotors, installed on my wife's Jeep Grand Cherokee, and might try and do a video on that, or I may just wait and start on that, do the next video on the dethatching rake. So